It's the realist.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your guy Realistic, and in this video I'm actually going to be doing an unboxing, and what I'm going to be unboxing is the brand new Warm Audio WA-8000. So if you don't know, Warm Audio recently just released their version of what they clone to be the Sony C800g. That is an iconic microphone that a lot of people like Travis Scott, Drake, Ariana, there's a ton of people that use that microphone. It's very coveted in the hip-hop and producer and engineering community. So if you're an engineer like I am and you go to a lot of big studios like in Atlanta or LA, you're definitely going to find the Sony mic. So what they did was they cloned it and they emulated it, and I want to check it out. So I have not opened this. This is still taped. I just got this today in the mail from Sweetwater. So I'm going to go ahead and actually unbox this live for y'all to see my first reactions and see how we feel about it. So let me go ahead and open this up, see what it's all about. I'm excited. I've been thinking about this for quite a while. I had actually kind of guessed when Warm Audio a month ago had announced they're releasing something new. I kind of guessed based on the image that was in the background that it was going to be a clone of this microphone, so I was anticipating it. I actually had sold some gear. It was a UAD satellite that I had that I wasn't using. I sold that, so I knew I could have some money to get this, because I was really excited, and I definitely wanted one in the studio here. All right, here. So you know the deal. If you've ordered from Sweetwater, you get the bubble wrap. You're gonna get the the little booklets in there. I'm sure they got a little stash of candy in there as well, like they normally do. All right, so let me pull this out here. This right here, this is a Mugami snake that I got that I added along with it. So I'm just gonna take a look, but we won't really dive into that too much because that has nothing to do with the video. But I wanted it for my my patch bay. Because I got a patch bay set up that I use for like some analog gear when I'm mixing and stuff. So I wanted to actually get a Mugami cable, snake cable. So I just went ahead and got the 8-channel TRS. I got a 10-footer, so that's going to work perfect behind my desk to be able to route everything in my patch bay. Okay, all right. So enough of that. Let's go ahead. We'll take a look here. All right, man. I do remember these boxes because I got a few Warm Audio boxes. But here goes the box right here. So you can see this is there's a lot going on in here. I'm excited. The mic looks awesome, by the way. So let me go ahead and throw this box out of the way. Okay, so I got the box out of the way. Let me see here. Let's go ahead and open this up here. We got a little tab right here. Okay, so this is one thing I was really excited about too, is that it comes with this really heavy-duty case. I could tell in the photos that it was going to be really heavy-duty, but first impressions, I was not expecting it to be this heavy-duty. So this is great. That's a good thing. I'm really excited about that. Let me go ahead and throw this box over here. Okay, and then of course, whenever you order something, you get little booklet on it and everything. And let's see here, I got another. Okay, so this is just advertising some of their gear and stuff like that, which I already have a ton of their gear. And then this looks like the manual, which, believe it or not, I am the type of guy that I'm gonna read this manual from top to bottom, especially with a mic this nice here. Okay, so I'm just taking a look at the case. Let me go ahead and show y'all what this case looks like here. So it's made out of a really thick plastic here. It's got the Warm Audio logo, and then it's got two little latches right here. And what I'm also liking too, if you can see that right there, let me go up to the camera a little bit. So we got these little holes right here. So it looks like if I really wanted to, I could throw some locks on here, which is pretty cool. I know if I had the Sony version, that $10,000 mic, I would definitely throw the locks on here. Okay, so here is the moment of truth. I've been looking forward to this for a very long time. Well, not a long time, but since they announced it. Okay, so, let's. Let's go ahead and start with the mic here. right, so I got the mic. It looks like the mic has a little wind filter over there, much like you would see on like the Shure SM7B, which is actually right there. All right, so I got it in hand here. Take a look here. So the build of it, the build's all right. It's not as the build isn't quite as impressive as some of the other mics. I have the WA-47 and I have their WA-8000, and initially when I pulled those out, the build felt amazing. This one didn't hit me with that same wow factor, but at the end of the day, what it sounds like is going to be most important. Anyways, so I'll show you guys the mic here. So you see we got the mic, we got a polar pattern here, so it looks like we got omnidirectional, and we got cardioid directional right there. And then we got the heat sink on here as well, and I'll dive into this in just a moment here. The heat sink on the Sony here is it's a little bit bigger. I think it might almost be twice the size of it. And so with the heat sink here, because this is a tube mic here, as you can see, we're going to go through all the power supply and everything in a moment. But the ideal here with a tube mic is it's going to, it's got a little tube in here, a little valve that it goes through, and then it's going to get its own power. And why I like tube mics, I use them on a lot of, just a lot of vocals in general, honestly, mostly R&B and pop vocals. But lately I've been using it a lot on hip hop vocals as well. And that's what this is. This is also a tube-like condenser. Discretion already ahead. You cannot put phantom power in this. That's what this this power supply is for. So if you get a tube mic like this mic or another one, do not put phantom power in it. You don't need it, and if anything, it's going to actually hurt the mic. So one of the main characteristics of a tube mic is you're going to get a lot of like analog type saturation. It kind of gives you almost a tape-like saturation and natural compression. That's why I like it. You hear it on a lot of vocals like Frank Ocean or Chris Brown or even Ariana. It just really gives that warm, buttery, smooth sound. So what made the Sony so unique is it has a heatsink. Same with this microphone, and I believe that's the only mic that of its kind that had a heatsink. I think it might have been proprietary to that, or maybe not proprietary, but I think it might have been the first technology, the first mic to use that technology. Anyway, so what the heatsink does, because this is a tube mic and the tube gets hot and warm, so what the heatsink does is it controls the temperature inside of the tube, and that's what made the Sony sound, gave it its own sound, and what made it so coveted is because the heatsink in there was able to control the internal temperature in here. So what that did was it reduced the noise floor and reduced the distortion, so we could still get that really warm, beautiful, rich, saturated sound without some of the noise floor. If you've ever used a tube mic, I know, like, I've used tons of them. Like, for instance, I remember the Telefunken AK-47. That's a real mic, by the way. That one was very noisy. The noise floor was loud. It had kind of what I would describe as like a lot of tape hiss. Same with the Audio-Technica. I'm drawing a blank. I think it's the AT4080. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think it's the AT4080 is their tube mic. That one was pretty noisy. And then I also have a lot of experience with the Neumann M149 tube mic. That one was really noisy too. The noise floor was pretty high on that one. The Warm Audio U47 that I have, that one is a tube mic, but the noise floor wasn't too crazy. It still had some noise in there like you would expect from a tube mic. That one didn't. But anyways, back to this. So the whole point of this heatsink right here is to lower that noise floor and lower that distortion. And so because of that, what this allows for is it allows this microphone to pick up a lot of information, especially in the high-end frequencies. It can pick up a lot of information there. And so what this does now is because it lowers that down, it's a lot less harsh on some of those higher end frequencies. So a lot of times you can even have a vocalist, if this really is like the Sony C800g, a vocalist that has a lot of sibilance. If you've ever used a bright sounding microphone, that sibilance just comes in there and just wreaks havoc. But on a Sony 800G, it really tames that down, and it doesn't accentuate it as much. And so you can get this really bright sound without those sibilant or those resonating frequencies in that upper range to sound so harsh and hurt the ears so much. They sound really smooth. And so that's what's so exciting about having a version like this, because that Sony mic, it retails for $10,000. However, it's sold out at most places. And if you guys are in like the sneaker game like I am, or any type of resale market, you know that when stuff sells out, the resale market is crazy. So they retail for $10,000 and they're pretty much sold out. So you kind of have to buy it on the secondary market, and it's usually above 10,000, more close to 15,000. So I'm letting you know that the Sony mic is that expensive. And so what Warm Audio went ahead and did was they configured a mic that was very similar to the same specs. They study it and they figure it out. And I'm going to explain how they're able to make this so affordable. And so what they then do is they create their own version, a clone of it, if you will. And then what they do is they release it at a much more affordable cost. So like I said, that Sony mic retail is $10,000, and this one's going for about $1,100 or $1,200. Same with my U47, which I'm just going to have to pull that out in a moment because I keep talking about it. So let me go ahead and grab that just because I keep talking about it. But anyways, so this is this other mic is supposed to emulate the Neumann or Telefunken U47. It's tube mic. And that mic's like, what, 5, 6, 7,000, somewhere around there. And then this mic itself was only $899, the clone of it. So that's kind of what Warm Audio does. That's kind of their deal, is they take these really coveted pieces of gear and expensive microphones, and they clone it and make it at a much more affordable cost for you to be able to buy. And so from my understanding, how they do that is they buy the same parts that are used, or very close parts that are used for these microphones, like the diaphragm, the transistors, the circuitry. But what they do is they buy it in a ridiculously large amount, like a huge bulk order. So that way the factory gives them the transistors and the transformers and the circuitry at a really low cost, because they bought so many parts. And so because of that, they're able to then make these microphones at a much more affordable cost, because they got such a big discount on all the parts. And then they study everything, and then they clone it, if you will. And so I haven't had a chance to hear this mic, but we will. I got my guy Love of Pharaoh coming soon, and he's going to record some vocals on this mic, and we're going to test it out so you can actually hear what it's all about. Anyways, yeah, so this should be pretty close to it. So let's go ahead and check out the rest of what's all in here. So we got a little shock mount right here. Okay, so this one's got a little buckle set, which I'm not mad at. I like the little buckle set. I used to use that on, well, what mic would that have been? The Palooza SE47, which is crazy because that was also a clone of the U47. So I got some experience with the buckle system here. Okay, so the shock mount, yeah, the shock mount is really nice, actually. I am actually pretty impressed with this. I'm digging this. So what I'm going to do, actually, though, is I'm going to grab a quick clip, because I use quick clips on all of my on my mic. So one moment. All right, so I went ahead and I added my quick clip to it, because like I said, I have that on all my microphones. So all my microphones have a quick clip on it. So there's one piece here, and then every one of my stands has a piece like this, the counter piece on it. So that way, when I go to put it on the stand, all I got to do is just slide it in, versus having to screw it on. So, like for instance, I got a stand right here, and so I can literally grab any mic in my collection, and instead of having to screw it on, I just put it right on the quick clip right there. And you see, pretty strong on there. Can actually lift it up here like that. So it's pretty strong. So anyways, yeah, like I said, I just always put that on there. Not that it's relevant to the video. But anyways, I do like the shock mount. That's a weird thing for me to be impressed about, but hey, man, it's a really good build, so I'm happy about it. So then I got the power supply right here. And so all I got to do here is it comes with its own special cable. Every tube mic will. So what you do is you take this cable. This cable is going to hook up to the microphone, and then it's going to go into the power supply. And then from there, you just take like your regular XLR cable, and then this is what you'll plug into your actual preamp or your interface. Remember, do not throw phantom power in there. Once you got all that on, you just flip the switch up here, and I highly recommend that you let this warm up for usually tube mics. I'd say usually about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. I am going to read the manual, and I'll put it, I have a little pop-up thing come up to say what the manual actually suggests, but whatever the manual says, that's what I would do. So basically what I'm saying is you fire this up and let it power up, and don't record any vocals or anything in it. Let it just warm up for 20 to 30 minutes unless this says different. Then you can start recording. That way the tube in here has some time to get heated up. And trust me, that wait is worth it. You'll get a much warmer and cleaner sound to it. Because the tube will have enough time to warm up. Because otherwise, you run the risk of it sounding a little more harsh, a little more shrill, even a little more heavy in the distortion. Because that tube really hasn't had the moment to get up to that level yet. But anyways, yeah. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna have my guy Pharaoh come in and record some vocals, and then we'll sit down and we'll analyze what we think that this sounds like, and judge what we think of it, because it's impressive, it looks great, but we don't know what it sounds like yet. One last thing, just in case you wanted to know, it does come with an IEC cable. That's just to hook this unit up to the wall. Okay, let's start diving in and hearing what this sounds like.
Big up the DJ, he on the replay. She bring the heat wave, and I appreciate. Spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle. You call my mental, don't understand you. Roses are good, but you are the bestest. Heavens are you, I'm choosing the second. Losing my breath, I'm trying to keep up in your life volcano, about to erupt. Need me and I say Raja, Mikasa is Sukasa. You wanna smoke like Rust, oh my gosh, my baby. You love to drive me crazy. Kinda like the ocean wavy, pulling me up to safety. I think about you night and day, lost in the beat, we're miles away. Don't let the moment die in vain. When it come you, I'm high intake. I'm on the east side island, I'm from the streets, stay wildin'. Came out here with a backdrop, sunset backdrop, and you know. Big up the DJ, he on the replay. She bring the heat wave, and I appreciate. Spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle. You call my mental, don't understand you. Roses are good, but you are the bestest. Heavens are you, I'm choosing the second. Losing my breath, I'm trying to keep up in your live volcano, about to erupt.
All right, so Pharaoh just got done laying down his vocals, so now my guy AJ is here to join me here, and we're gonna go over and actually listen to it and give our honest thoughts of what we think the microphone actually sounds like. And then AJ is actually gonna jump in and EQ some things and see how he feels the microphone translates over when you EQ. All right, you ready to give it a listen?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah. Big up the DJ, he on the replay. She bring the heat wave, and I appreciate. Spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle. You call my mental, don't understand you. Roses are good, but you are the bestest. Heavens are you, I'm choosing the second. Losing my breath, I'm trying to keep up in your live volcano, about to erupt. Need me and I say Raja, Mikasa is Sukasa. You wanna.
Yeah, it's more full and more present. The high end is really
A lot of information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say descriptive. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's very full on the high end, which I think is gonna create some problems, but then also, and I think the C800 is the same. I had a lot of mixes with the C800, and the top end information is so prominent and so clear that it does present obstacles. So, but the thing about it is it presents obstacles, but you have so much information that you can do way more with it than you could with a normal microphone.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
True.
It's impressive. That's really impressive.
I think they got pretty close. The only thing that I noticed is the Sony mic has more of a bump curve in the 200 to 300 hertz range, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing that the warm audio version doesn't have that, because that 200 to 300, a lot of times we want to carve that out anyways.
Yeah.
So it did kind of
Needs
lack some of
attenuating.
that.
Yeah.
So because of that, it doesn't sound as full as the Sony, but the high-end information, I think they nailed it. But if we wanted to have the same fullness that the Sony had, I mean, literally just throw an EQ on and it's there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the thing for me is always how much information is actually there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because when the information's there, you can manipulate it, but if it's not there, then you have to create it. So now we're adding harmonic distortion and all kinds of other things to try to get the body of the record to feel, you know, just like literally create harmonics that don't exist in the actual recording. So I would much rather have something like this, where there's a more full snapshot of what happened in the real world. You know what I mean?
True.
That we can manipulate. The more information, the better. So I think they did a fantastic job. Like, I don't necessarily know that I would notice if somebody told me that this was a C800. I don't think that I would even notice that it wasn't.
Yeah, you
know what I
wouldn't be
mean?
like, nah, that's not it. You'd be like,
Right.
all right, take your word for it. It sounds close enough.
I wouldn't even think about it, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think I would just accept it as a C800 recording, you know what I mean, without thinking about it.
Yeah.
Unless the topic of the only thing right now we're talking about it, but if somebody sent the session and said, yeah, I recorded on a C800, I wouldn't be like, this wasn't a C800.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
It's like, and that's pretty incredible because the price point is so
It's
opposite.
10 times. It's
You know
10
what I
times
mean?
less. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, already off top, just from that recording, I personally feel like something like this would be, when you look at what you're not getting compared to what you are getting, the price point doesn't even make sense anymore.
Yeah, because you're getting, at least in my opinion, 90% of the Sony with this version.
Right.
And so 90% of the Sony for 10 times less.
Right.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
You know, $1,100 versus $11,000
Right.
for 90%, and it does about 90% of the same performance. I'll take that every day.
Yeah, I would do these mics, man. I would do these mics. Warm Auto, you got to send us some more of these mics, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think I would love to play with. I'm looking forward to playing with this mic. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I think we need a couple more though.
Yeah, I think so too, man.
Yeah.
Especially if we want to do like some stereo stuff, and
Right.
because there's a lot of other things besides vocals that we can do too. And
Right.
yeah, and it's
Sound
always good to have
design.
sound design, guitars. It's always good to have a backup. But yeah, there is one thing I noticed too, because I noticed there is a lot of information in the high frequency. One thing that I did like about it is, with that being said, his sibilance is still there, and we will still do things like de-essing and manual de-essing that we normally do, but it's not as harsh on the sibilance as other mics are, even though there's so much
without a doubt
high-end information.
I think it's really just because there's so much information in the high end that it creates this appearance of exaggerated sibilance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's, you know, like we talk about all the time, it's like having a body of information that you can work with, you know what I mean, is better. I want as much information from the very lowest frequency to the very highest frequency that we can get, and then manipulate it, because, you know, you don't want to have to create, you know, like, which I've had to do on a lot of records, where something happens or there's some kind of dithering issue or something, and you wind up having like frequencies that are not present inside the recording that really should be.
Yeah.
So then I'm adding like harmonic distortion and other things to kind of try and, you know, like enhance those areas, because you can't just do that with an EQ. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes you got to use saturation and stuff like
Exactly.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, and you have had a lot of experience mixing people that have used this mic, like the Tory Lanez record.
Yeah.
Future used it. Trying to think some
I
other.
mean, most of the
Thug might have used it. Young Thug.
I would say this way, man. Like, there's a lot of artists that are like considered top tier artists that won't go anywhere without that mic.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's true.
But I know for me, like, based on what I would want to do with my money, I would rather carry around the warm audio mic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's at such a good price point that if it did get damaged on the road, I could replace it. Versus, you don't want to replace or repair a C800. And I've seen that happen where it's like there are often so few of them available. Like I've seen, well, I won't say who it is, but
yeah, like when we got that call about Travis Scott, he was in town. They were looking for this Sony C800 mic, and they called us to see if we had it at our studio.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's, it's difficult in a moment like that because people who have a C800 are like, you're not touching my mic. You know what I mean? For good reason. Like I'm not gonna. That's a car, really. I mean, a low-end car, but that's, you know what I'm saying. Like that's if you want to buy a car, that's half the money to buy a vehicle. So
yeah,
you know what I mean.
And the thing about it is they retail for a little under $11,000, but they're sold out at so many places that you honestly gotta get them on the resale market. So to replace the C800 is gonna cost you maybe $15,000. Because they're sold out in a lot of places.
But see, beyond that too, I think once again it comes down to convenience. You know what I mean? Where, like you said, if it's sold out in all these different locations, like what do you do when something goes wrong?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that's like your go-to microphone that becomes a challenge. You know what I mean? Because there's, even renting them for a situation is going to be tough. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
So yeah, I mean, if you have a microphone like this that is doing 80-90% of the job, it's like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It just makes more sense to me to run around, you know what I mean, to take the carrying case, and it comes with a great case too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. I was impressed with
do
it.
What you gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you want to dive in? I got your EQ that you like here. Just dive in and kind of see how it translates in a mix.
For sure. Let me actually use this chair. I know that you guys love these chairs, but I'm super weird about stuff like that because I don't want things blocking or creating reflections.
I do remember you said that, yeah.
I am weird like that. But I hear everything, so it's kind of hard to,
Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate it.
See, I automatically hear that 200 you were talking about. You know what I mean?
That it's missing.
Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate it. Spirit so gentle, I'm off the...
It's crazy how present it is, though, man.
There's so much high-end information. And what's crazy is you haven't even EQ'd or there's no processing other than the auto-tune on there.
Right.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to need 2 EQs, so I'm just going to pull 2 up.
Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate it. Spirit so gentle, I'm off the...
Woo!
Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate it. Spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle, you call my mental, don't understand you. Roses are good, but you are the bestest. Heavens are you, I'm choosing the second, losing my breath, I'm trying to keep up in your live volcano, about to erupt. Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate it. Spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle, you call my mental, don't understand you.
3K being a bastard as usual.
I'm choosing the second, losing my breath, I'm trying to keep up in your live volcano, about to erupt. Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate it. Spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle, you call my mental, don't understand you.
What's crazy is
Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate it. Spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle.
Crazy how good a job it's doing at...
Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate it. Spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle, you call my mental, don't understand you. You are the
Good
bestest, heavens are you, I'm choosing the second, losing my breath, I'm trying to keep up in your live volcano, about to erupt. Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate...
I feel like there's one more.
Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate it. Spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle, you call my mental, don't understand you. Roses are good, but you are the bestest, heavens are you, I'm choosing the second, losing my breath, I'm trying to keep up in your live volcano, about to erupt.
That's...
Need me and I say Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle, you call my mental, don't understand you, roses are good, but you are the bestest, heavens are you, I'm choosing the second.
That's incredible,
Big
man.
up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle, you call my mental, don't understand you, roses are good, but you are the bestest, heavens are you, I'm choosing the second, losing my breath, I'm trying to keep up in your live volcano, about to erupt. Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle, you call my mental, don't understand you, roses are good, but you are the bestest, heavens are you, I'm choosing the second, losing my breath, I'm trying to keep up in your live volcano, about to erupt. Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle, you call my mental, don't understand you, roses are good, but you are the bestest, heavens are you, I'm choosing the second, losing my breath, I'm trying to keep up in your live volcano, about to erupt. Big up the
Throw
DJ,
in,
he on the
I
replay,
got
she
a
bring the heat.
reverb and stuff I want to throw in there.
Sure.
Yeah, just hit these vocal effects and slap.
Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle, you call my mental, don't understand you, roses are good, but you are the bestest, heavens are you, I'm choosing the second, losing my breath, I'm trying to keep up in your live volcano, about to erupt. Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle, you call my mental, don't understand you, roses are good, but you are the bestest, heavens are you, I'm choosing the second, losing my breath, I'm trying to keep.
Yeah, you can really dial this in, man. Like there's so many, you know what I mean? And you know me, I'm a heavy EQ guy, so I'm gonna wanna, well, you know, we talk about this stuff in class, so I'm not gonna say all that, but
Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle, you call my mental, don't understand you, roses are good, but you are the bestest, heavens are you, I'm choosing the second, losing my breath, I'm trying to keep up in your live volcano, about to erupt. Meet me in. Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate spirit so gentle, I'm off the handle, you call my mental, don't understand you, roses are good, but you are the bestest, heavens are you, I'm choosing the second, losing my breath, I'm trying to keep up in your live volcano, about to erupt. Meet me and I say Raja, mi casa is su casa, you wanna smoke like Rust, oh my gosh, my baby, you love to drive me crazy, kinda like the ocean wavy, pulling me up to safety. I think about you night and day, lost in the beat, we're miles away. Don't let the moment die in vain. When it come you, I'm high intake. I'm on the east side island, I'm from the streets, stay wildin'. Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate.
yeah, that's pretty amazing, man.
Yeah, so what you're saying is with all that information that this microphone's picking up, it gives you more options to be able to boost some different areas.
Yeah,
because like to, or bring out some more areas, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, so once I stabilized the vocal a bit, I was able to boost some things that I thought I really wanted to bring out, and then restabilize it, and then added one more EQ just to kind of like top it off with a little bit of sheen.
Yeah.
And add a little bit more like lower mid-range to kind of cause it to like have an anchor. You know what I mean? An anchor in the song and feel good. But the thing about it, like you said, is like there's so much information in there that I can do that. And like that will probably translate across the entire song. You know what I mean? Like, and it's more present because I heard this recorded without this mic at first, and it's a stark difference between, you know what I mean,
this and the other mic that he originally recorded this on,
and how much work it would take for me as a mixer to mix the old vocal versus the new vocal.
Yeah,
which I think a lot of people underestimate the value of. One of the biggest reasons that you're investing in things like microphones is to cause yourself to save time in your mix. You know what I mean? So that you're not trying to invent something that's not there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If it's there, you're like, yeah, that's good stuff. I like it, man.
Big up the DJ, he on the replay, she bring the heat wave, and I appreciate spirit so gentle.
And you know, Pharaoh of course sounds, you know, kind of nasally, but that's the way he is. Like that's just his performance and the way he, you know, records. And so is, you know, Drake is that way. You know what I mean? Eminem's that way. A lot of people are that way. you know, a little bit more nasally in their delivery. But so, yeah, man, I'm impressed.
Yeah, I was impressed too, man. I didn't know what I was to expect, but I have, you know, a lot of warm audio stuff in the studio, so I felt like they were going to get pretty close. I didn't know they were going to get this close. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
I would say off top, yeah, man, for sure. You know what I mean? I think we should get a couple more of these.
I think so, man. Yeah, at the very least a second one.
Yeah.
Just to have, for sure.
Yeah, just at least, like you said, like the stereo pair to be able to do some cool stuff. And yeah, man.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep, I like it too, man. Well, I appreciate you coming through.
Oh, of course.
Giving your opinion. Let us know down in the comment section what your opinion of it is, if you tried it and you like it, or if you've been looking at it, or what your thoughts are on it, if you're excited about it as well. And like I always say, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. That way you can stay up to date with videos just like this one. Until next time. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch that tutorial. Hopefully you found that information useful, and if you did like the content from that, that is from my online course, The Art of Mastering. Again, it's over 75 videos of professional mastering techniques with over 9 hours of content that you can apply in any DAW using any plugin collection. So I'll put the link in the description below if you want to sign up for that course, or if you want to do private lessons with me, you can as well, and then we can talk directly on Zoom about the things that you want to go over without having to go through a full course. Also, if you did find the video useful, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like and subscribe button, believe it or not, it does help the channel grow, because if you like it, it tells YouTube that, hey, maybe some other people might like this video as well, and it will show it to them. Also, in the meantime, if you want to check out some of my other videos, you can watch those here, and here. All right, until next time, y'all.